From the Hindu Kush to the Rockies, a journey from Kabul to Colorado in community-led transformation, a memoir of resilience, advocacy, and transformation by Homayun Milad. Episode 32, Peace Amid Chaos. When peace talks were unfolding in Doha between the Taliban and the United States, and discussions of the long-anticipated intra-Afghan peace talks began to spread across political and diplomatic circles, the air was thick with both hope and uncertainty. In Kabul, in the provinces, and among the diaspora, the same question lingered. Could this moment be the turning point? Would Afghanistan finally step away from war and into a future of reconciliation? But while these negotiations dominated headlines and diplomatic meetings, I knew that true peace, peace that would endure beyond signed agreements, could not solely come from political settlements brokered behind closed doors. Peace had to be cultivated from within Afghan society itself, woven into the fabric of communities that had long endured war's weight. And so, as the world watched leaders deliberate, I stepped into a different battlefield, the realm of social peace building. I led a team of dedicated individuals who shared one core belief, that social peace was the foundation of lasting stability. Without trust, without reconciliation at the grassroots level, no treaty or agreement could hold. We understood that peace was not merely a political transaction, but a deeply personal and communal effort, one that required the participation of local governance structures, development initiatives, and the countless peace builders who worked tirelessly in Afghanistan's villages and cities. Every discussion we held, every idea we debated, stemmed from lived experience. We pooled our collective knowledge, from governance frameworks that had empowered communities to development initiatives that had fostered resilience in war-torn districts. We drew on lessons learned from grassroots engagement, understanding that transformation could not be imposed. It had to be built through dialogue, inclusion, and trust. As diplomatic negotiations took center stage, our work became a parallel force, a commitment to ensuring that peace was not merely an elite endeavor, but a reality shaped by those who had suffered most. We were determined to amplify the voices often overshadowed by political discourse, the elders mediating local disputes, the youth advocating for change, the women mobilizing for reconciliation. This was our mission, to ensure that as Afghanistan's future was debated in formal peace talks, the heart of the country, its people, were not left behind in the conversation. All hands on deck, crafting a responsive grassroots peace-building program amidst the uncertainty surrounding Afghanistan's future. As peace negotiations unfolded on the international stage, it became clear that top-down agreements alone would not be enough to secure lasting stability. The need for a grassroots approach, one rooted in community-led dialogue, local governance structures, and civil society engagement, was undeniable. And so, we mobilized. It was an all-hands-on-deck effort, a collective undertaking driven by the shared belief that real peace must be nurtured at every level of Afghan society. From Kabul's policy circles to the most remote villages, our work was defined by the understanding that communities, not just political actors, had to be at the center of the peace process. We began crafting a responsive grassroots social peace-building program, one that would not only address immediate conflict resolution needs, but also lay the foundation for enduring peace. This program was designed with distinct yet interconnected components: district-level and provincial peace dialogues. These localized discussions created safe spaces for reconciliation and consensus building, allowing community members, tribal elders, and local leaders to voice their concerns, share grievances, and collaboratively forge pathways to peace. They were not just symbolic gatherings, but critical mechanisms for resolving disputes and fostering trust. Peace innovation funds for civil society organizations. Recognizing the vital role of grassroots activism, we established funding mechanisms to support civil society-led peace-building efforts. These funds empowered organizations to implement initiatives that strengthened social cohesion, enhanced local capacity, and addressed critical community-driven priorities, ensuring that peace-building was not just a government-led process, but one shaped by Afghan citizens themselves. Policy-level convenings in Kabul. While grassroots action was fundamental, it needed alignment with national frameworks. We facilitated high-level policy discussions that brought together government officials, peace negotiators, scholars, and activists to bridge the gap between community-led efforts and institutional decision-making. These convenings ensured that local voices were not lost in bureaucratic processes, but actively shaped national peace strategies. Every element of this program was built on the principle that lasting peace cannot be imposed. It must emerge organically through inclusive engagement, dialogue, and trust building across Afghanistan's diverse communities. We were not merely responding to political shifts, we were actively shaping a vision for peace that would endure beyond any single agreement or administration. This was more than a program. It was a mission, one rooted in the belief that Afghanistan's future would not be determined solely in negotiation rooms, but in the conversations unfolding across its villages, districts, and cities. As these multi-layered initiatives took shape, our approach to district and village-level peace dialogues emerged from a deep understanding that lasting peace required more than surface-level conversations. We knew that each gathering needed to be anchored in a comprehensive analysis of Afghanistan's complex reality, a reality that couldn't be understood through statistics alone. Our conflict analysis began with the ground realities that varied dramatically from one valley to the next. In some districts, tribal disputes over water rights had become intertwined with larger political conflicts. In others, decades-old land disputes had taken on new dimensions in the context of returning refugees. We listened to farmers who spoke of poppy cultivation not as a choice, but as a survival mechanism, to shopkeepers whose businesses bore the scars of cyclical violence, and to teachers who struggled to maintain education amid shifting security dynamics. These voices led us to the root causes that lay beneath the surface of daily conflicts. Like archaeologists of peace, we carefully excavated layers of historical trauma, uncovering how key decisions in Afghanistan's history, from the Great Game to the post-2001 reconstruction, had shaped local grievances and aspirations. Each decision point had left its mark on community relationships, governance structures, and economic patterns. We'll continue this story in the next episode, so stay tuned.